Well, I have to say something positive about the Japanese and Christmas. Most Japanese are not Christians, but they do celebrate Christmas a great deal. You'll see Christmas trees out places, carolers singing songs on the street, and actually celebrating Christmas far more than you would even think possible because they do it far more than in America, from what I've seen. And it's pretty surprising because most Japanese are not actually Christian. They're Buddhist, or whatever, maybe Confucian, but the Christians are the minority in Japan. But it's a holiday that's very much celebrated. But I want to say something about the Japanese character and the Japanese people. They're actually very good people. If we ever had a problem like what they had with the tsunami and earthquake that devastated a large portion of their country and their economy, I think we'd be in total turmoil. It's like they accepted whatever happened and they stoically worked calmly and patiently for the most part as best they could to go ahead and fix and remedy the situation as best they could. And they've done a great deal to remedy what happened with the earthquake and tsunami. Actually, I regard the Japanese people more like true Christians than you would think. And there's another people out there. It's always kind of weird that people that aren't Christians sometimes seem to act more like Christians or what Christians should act like, Japanese being one of them. And you're going to be surprised at something else I'm going to say. I think the other one out there that acts more like Christians, and some people may not like this, because I think it's Jews. Jews are actually been on the forefront of a lot of wonderful things. I mean, as far as civil rights in medicine and helping basically people that were pushed down by other people. So actually in a lot of ways I think Jews are kind of like true Christians. And the story with Christ, if you look at it very objectively, I know, boy, I can get a big argument with this stuff, but it's really tough to prove, because if it is really provable, everybody would be a Christian. Like everything that people accept as religion is based upon faith, which is like real sketchy, But yeah, I guess you could definitely say that anything that is written in the King James Bible, that the red words are, what Jesus said, the red words, they make sense. They make sense. But actually, Japanese and a lot of Jews actually abide by them pretty damn well. So I have a lot of respect for them. Two supposedly more or less closed groups, too. You would think that would not be the case. But, this is a site that's actually, it's called Jews for United for Justice. And actually, this is one of the things that Jews are about. I know you hear all the negative stuff, but it's about justice. It's about justice for all peoples. And they're leaders in that. And they take the lead in that. So, just my opinion. But a lot of people are getting really, I don't know, I don't want to call it anti-Semitic, because I guess, everybody from that area is Semitic. But getting anti-Jewish lately, and I don't know, I don't really like it. But I'm going to say something else, because it's very controversial to talk about anything about religion. But in religion, you really can't prove a hell of a lot of stuff, because if it was that simple and that provable, there would be just one religion, or that would just be it. That would be it. There's a lot of things taken on faith. This is something else I always found. This is the Rabbani Trust. It's something I semi-worked around a little bit, and that's why I'm familiar with it. But it has to do with the Baha'i faith, and it's in Iran. It's a faith that originated in Iran in the early 1800s. They were persecuted in the 1800s, but then they became persecuted again after the Shah was overthrown. It's interesting that this religion, which is a very benign religion that encompasses like Judaism, Christianity, Buddha, Islam, all of it. It says each religion has their message. It's an all-encompassing religion. It's not like radical. They're very, very, very tolerant of a lot of things. I mean, it's, that's how they are. But the religious clerics in Iran hate them. They hate them. And it's interesting. The supposed I don't really don't know the details of what goes on in Iran. I mean, I guess if you're on a bad end of the hammer, no matter who you are, you're going to hate the other guy. But the Shah himself, the evil Shah that everybody knows as the evil Shah, the Shah tolerated this religion. It was the religious clerics in Iran that hated this religion. And in 1979, establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran, the persecution took new direction against the Baha'i sect, becoming official government policy and being pursued in a very systematic way. So they basically had to leave Iran. They were just like their temples were destroyed. Now the question I want to bring to you is, so Rabbani is actually the whole center of the Baha'i sect is located in Haifa, Israel. Haifa, Israel. Believe it or not. And on YouTube, man, everybody hates Jews, I think. That's what I'm beginning to figure out. But I can't even say a fact, and they're like killing me about, putting my head up some Jew's butt or some garbage. I mean, really, I'm not. I'm just saying the truth. But, as far as, what goes on with some of these organizations, like, with the Jews for Justice, I've always seen it this way. They got a very fair-minded way of doing things. So in a lot of ways, they're like true Christians, even though they're not Christians. So go figure, right? The Japanese, they act very much like true Christians too, from the way they handled the tsunami and the way they rebuilt and all what they cleaned up and all that they persevered through with all the fortitude that they have and inner strength. I have a lot of respect for the Japanese. Japanese are actually far more Christian than most Christians are. That's a reality. I have a very high opinion of the Japanese. But I'm going to say something else too about Jews that are in Iran, for instance. Do you ever wonder why they're not persecuted in Iran? I mean, you say, yeah, the Iranian government's very tolerant. Really? Well, how come they persecute these people? These people actually accept Muhammad as a prophet. They accept Jesus as at least a great prophet and as a great messenger from God. So how come the Iranian government, the clerics, persecute the Baha'i sect faith so much? How much? Why? Why is that? I say it's because they don't have the clout to hammer them back, whereas the Jews do. In other words, the Iranian government's going to say hands off to the Jews because they know that would create a major, major, major problem for them. Major problem. The Jews have strength. And that really tells you something about why Jews need to, or Israel itself needs to have gazillion nuclear weapons, what they deny, and they should deny it. I mean, really, are you born yesterday? So, I don't know. I don't like everything Israel does either. I know there's some really right-wing elements in there, but I get highly pissed off when Jews get hammered too much, too. I mean, they deserve criticism. They don't do everything perfect. But they do deserve criticism, I'll say that. But criticism keeps them honest, and I think the overall impetus of Judaism is a good force in the world, and it's bringing about justice for all peoples. And, two groups I respect a lot, Jews and Japanese. So, but just a word to the wise about the religious clerics that are running Iran, not the Iranian people. The religious clerics in Iran are evil. They are evil. And they're the worst type of religious people. There's people of that type in every religion. And they're horrible. They're horrible. They're the, I know Jews always talk about the Nazis, but I guess they're probably even worse than the Nazis. How's that? I mean, that's the way I would look at it. I think the Jews probably could have dealt more shrewdly with the Nazis and got out of that situation. But with because the Nazis weren't really all that religious. They were just, fanatics in other ways. But the religious are the most fanatical of all. So, I do deem that, in my opinion, Iran is a very dangerous country. And a lot of people just don't see it that way. But I could see it from this one common sense way. The persecution of Baha'i sect. And that tells me They are not tolerant of anything at all. So, and the reason they don't persecute the Jews in Iran is because the Jews actually have the power. I mean, globally, you know what would happen? Every nation would condemn the hell out of Iran if they laid a hand on any Jews in Iran, because Jews worldwide do have the power to protect their own. And that's one reason they have to have the power. It's better self-preservation. So, you know, I don't know, that's my opinion, but it's very unpopular, I know that, but just kind of think about it. Why are Jews not persecuted in Iran, yet the Baha'i sect is? The Baha'i sect is a hell of a lot closer to what the Islam is. A lot closer. So what's the deal? Tells you something isn't right, you know? It's because the Jews have strength. And it's the only way you could deal with some people is to have the strength.